Hello, welcome to the channel. This is going to be episode 005, The Slap. Originally we had something different planned, but my usual day for my episode is the Monday, and this happens to be after what everybody happens to be talking about. So, that's right, we're going to be talking about what everybody happens to be talking about today. But first, let me say, if you're enjoying the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to comment and let me know what you think. Anyways, also, due to the nature of the content here, this is a trigger warning. I am going to be giving my honest opinions on things. I'm not meaning to be offensive, and I'm more than willing to discuss my opinions calmly with anyone. And depending on information given, I am actually open to changing my opinion. However, yes. Anyways, we will get into this. First of all, in my opinion, I think this was kind of a fake setup for views for the Oscars. I mean, let's be honest. Who's seen the Oscars? Who watched the Oscars live? How many people? Like, nobody, okay? Nobody watches these award ceremonies anymore. They're boring. The only time, people watch clips. People watch clips of Buddy, who was roasting them all the last time, but he's all done now. I can't remember his name. Famous comedian, and the only thing anybody's talking about, who won what? Do you even know what awards were given? I barely know that the award that Chris Rock got rocked during, he was going to give for something to do with the documentary, man. But yeah, I don't know nothing, but I know about that slap. And I think that's what this really was about. Oh, oops, let's get my timer going. Let's drop off 5 minutes just in case. I don't think we've been doing 5 minutes, but hey, we did go through my whole welcome here and the trigger warning, so... but yeah. In my opinion, yeah, nobody watches the Oscars, and I think this was a setup for views. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't, but that's what I feel is that it was a fake for views. Defending one of the main things that people are talking about with this is when they're defending what Will Smith happened to do, they're saying that he was defending his wife's honor and it was a good thing and blah blah blah. But I mean, that's. When you watch the footage, Will Smith was laughing himself until he looked over to Jada and seen she wasn't laughing. You know what I mean? He wasn't defending his honor. If anything, he got up because he felt guilty about him laughing when he himself knows what she's been going through. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Besides, a joke's a joke. I personally do see it the way Chris Rock says, where, hey, it's a G.I. Jane joke. Like, it's tame. Like, I understand and it's one of those, I do understand if she's sensitive. Like, I totally get it. And I can understand a person wanting to defend their honor too. But at the end of the day, I am pro-speech, and because I'm not about party lines or anything of that, I follow principles, one of the main being pro-speech. I'm sorry, you don't get to hit somebody because you don't like their joke. You can go ahead and not like the joke. You can go ahead and think it's a bad joke because of. But you're still admitting it's a joke. Some people try to backtrack and no. It is obviously a joke. Everybody knows it's a joke, and more than anything, if this wasn't wrong, then why did Will Smith apologize for it? Will Smith has officially come out and full on apologized to Chris Rock now about what he did, because violence is wrong. And I fully agree with that. And I actually agree with forgiving Will Smith for it. You know what I mean? You gotta give people a path to redemption. You gotta. Whether they agree with you, whether they're on your side of the political aisle or not, it doesn't matter. There needs to be a path to redemption. If a person is sorry for their transgression, they should be. And you know what? That it's even that deal. Like if Will Smith had said something to Chris Rock about the joke and told him not, I'm sure Chris Rock would have been more than willing to not tell that joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have to hit, especially like, to act like it's out of place. That's the exact kind of joke that people are known for giving. And Chris Rock and Will Smith both have said worse in their own past at events like this. But now Will Smith is going to be rocking Chris Rock over it? No, please. Please. That is wrong. But forgiveness should be, you got to be understanding. Like, that's not to say that you can't be understanding about it. It's not to say that you can't understand why a person, what would bring a person to do something like that. You know what I mean? But come on, we're either you're sorry, pardon me, got a little tongue-tied there. Either you're pro freedom of speech or you're not. And pro freedom of speech isn't about being okay with people saying things that you are okay with, that you think are funny, that you think is in line with your view. No. The true test of whether you believe in freedom of speech is whether you believe that somebody who says something that you think is reprehensible should still be allowed to say it. I am one of those people. I might not agree with the person, but that doesn't mean that I think that they should be silenced. I don't think, and I definitely do not think words should, like, if words ever bring you to violence, while it can be understandable, you're still in the wrong every time. Every time. I don't care. I literally don't care. If it is just words that brought you to violence, you've crossed the line. Words are not violence. Words cannot hurt you. Words only have the power you give them. You can't let that. You gotta let people be forgiven, and I don't know. Yeah, and you always got to remember that understanding and compassion, but that also doesn't mean free from consequence. In my opinion, what should have happened last night, now, this is past, I'm not saying we should go back, because you can't. Like, what happened, it's done. But what I think should have happened at that, Will Smith, like, if the moment Will Smith done that, security should have been called, and Will Smith should have been escorted out, and the cops should have took him away. Like, straight up, like, that just should have been an automatic right now. You don't get to hit one of the hosts because you didn't like their joke. Like, I'm sorry. If you're that thin-skinned, you shouldn't attend. Just that simple. And like I say, when you cross that, it should have been automatic. You're done. Now, that said, it isn't a deal of his Oscar is independent from what his actions last night were. So I'm not one for necessarily taking that away from him. I don't think, I don't know. It depends on the way their rules are. I don't care. But in my opinion, yeah, like I don't think they need to take any awards away from him or anything of that nature. And I don't think, and apparently Chris Rock is fine with not pressing charges, and Will Smith seems to be repentant. So you know what? At this point, I think everybody should kind of let bygones be bygones. But even if it is true, you know what I mean? Like, it's all done and over with. Hindsight, like, well, not even hindsight. Like, like the moment I seen that, I thought that Will Smith should have been, like. I'm understanding and compassion, but that doesn't mean that you're free from consequence. When you cross the line, you cross the line, and you should face consequences for that. And that's right, the Academy is doing their investigation, and, let them. And I'm sure that essentially Will Smith is just going to get a good slap on the wrist, but, like, he still will face some consequence, and it's not, you know, you got to be understanding, you know, like I understand why he crossed the line, but he did cross the line, so there should be some consequence. But I also agree with forgiveness. So, you know, I don't know, you know. I'm pretty libertarian in that sense, really. Oh wow, we've only like gone through half of our time. Well, that's what happens when we do an impromptu one, right? I don't know. Maybe I could look up what's on Facebook about, because that's, you know, how I find out about stuff a lot of the time. Well, Facebook and YouTube. Because I'm an old guy, right? I'm middle-aged, so like I'm not on the and I stay away from Twitter. I have a Twitter, but I've never been big on it, and Twitter really seems to bring out the worst of people. It seems to be an even bigger echo chamber than what Facebook already is, so like I tend to avoid it. And that is something else too. You need to understand that the way your social media works, it's about engagement, and because of that, all of these social media platforms end up creating your own personal echo chamber, right? You need to make sure that you actually go out and search outside of that, regardless of where you align politically or anything, like on any issue. Like, it's like I say, and it's one of those. It isn't a bias about the politics per se. It's about the engagement, but your political views will kind of give an influence on what you will engage with, right? You know, if you're pro-life, well, then well, I don't know, it depends. Like, yeah, it's where engagement is. If you make comments on pro-life things, well, then you're going to see more pro-life stuff because you engage on that, right? Regardless of what kind of comments you're making, whether it's hateful ones or pro ones, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. You really got to be understanding and compassionate and give benefit of the doubt when the benefit of the doubt is given. What is there, right? I think, like I say, like I think this is fake, but I also full on consider it as if it's really happened, because I don't know. I know these are actors. I know I have seen Will Smith throw way better hits. As much as, like, because it's one of those deals. Sure, when you take those screenshots, oh my God, this thing is like meme heaven. It's so, like, there's going to be memes from this forever. Like, this is like one of those, like, permanent memes. This is the freaking cat meme. You know? Like, it's that meme that will never go away. It will always come back. There will always be some other issue that they'll just post with that screenshot. Oh yeah. And as, like I say, as much as it looks great as that, when you watch it live, when you watch it real time, like, come on, who hasn't seen Will Smith throw a better hit than that? And this is over defending his wife's honor? Give me a break. Give me a break. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's legit. And it just, like, because there was no rehearsal of Will Smith throwing this punch, it was horrible. You know, they didn't get 20 takes of it. Maybe this punch shows us what filming with Will Smith might really be like on these action flicks. But like I say, I'm willing to bet that no, I think he can throw a better hit than that, even if it's an impromptu, especially a sucker punch. I mean, come on. If you can't get a solid hit out of a sucker punch, there's something wrong with you, man. Mind you, if you're going for a sucker punch, I think there's something wrong with you to begin with. That's, I don't know. Well, let me put it this way. Like I say, I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. And so it's kind of a pirate's code. You know, like if you watch the Johnny Depp Pirates, there is kind of a code, but it's like that in that it can kind of be broken and whatnot under certain circumstances. And so I was kind of raised up where dirty fighting was a normal thing. You see it all the time. But when a guy throws a sucker punch, it's an obvious sign that they tend to be more unsure of the way a fight would go if a fight occurred on fair terms. You know what I mean? It's one thing to throw, you know, it's one thing for basically what I'm saying is it's one thing to throw that sucker punch. It's another thing to stand toe to toe with a guy and say, "Let's go." Right? Sucker punch, that's, oh man, it's a sucker punch, dude. I don't know. I don't know, man. I really. And like I say, that's why there was a trigger warning here. This is me giving a live takes about this, so this is a bit of a hot take, right? And I'm being honest. Like, I don't know. Like this whole thing rubs me the wrong way. Like, no matter what perspective I try to look at it, it looks wrong. Even if I'm trying to get on Will Smith's side, and generally, I do like Will Smith. I think he is, in general, a likable person. But, I mean, that's also been his TV persona. How much of what we know about him is real and is not actually just a shading from what we know of his TV persona, you know? That's the problem with your celebrities. They're in their own world, man, and you can't trust it. Them celebrities in general, like celebrities in general are the worst of the worst in their own personal lives, and you know what? They're nothing but hypocrites. Don't listen to them. Don't watch their award shows, no matter whether Will Smith is sucker punching people or not. Watch the clips. The only thing worth watching last night was the sucker punch. And that's all over everywhere. Hell, everybody's going to be sick of it by now. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Forgiveness, for sure. Forgiveness. You gotta forgive. Especially, like I say, he's come out and he's apologized. And Chris Rock seems very understanding. And yeah, I think it should just be. I think it should be done. I think it's, but you know, I figured it would. This was worth talking because, yeah, you know, like a lot of people are trying to defend it on the wall. It's his wife's honor. It's like, look, on that level, I can understand it, but that's not actually a justification because context matters. And what the context of this is, you take your girlfriend or wife to a comedy show. The comedian makes one joke about your wife, and you get up and and go and beat the fucking part of my language, beat the snot out of the comedian. Yeah, I will probably swear from time to time in this, but I will be trying to watch it. I do have children of my own, and I do. While I'm not marking this for children at all, like this is intended for mature audiences. I don't know, I do still want to keep it kid friendly, you know. But Yeah, and in general, I'm pretty good with not swearing. But, when you get going, right? You get heated. Yeah, I don't know. I I think there's, you can't, while I can understand that, it's, like I say, it's taking your wife to a show, and the comedian makes one joke, and you beat the snot out of the comedian. Sorry, that's not cool. That's not okay. You go to jail for that. You should go to jail for that. Anyone who defending that is wrong. They're toxic. That is wrong. That's one of those toxic masculinity things that people like to throw around, isn't it? Don't get me wrong. Like, I get the romantic aspect of it, and if somebody's really disrespecting my wife or whatnot, I'm gonna have words. What's exactly that? I'm gonna have words, and then I'm gonna walk away. Like, as long as it's words only have the power that you give them. So you know what? If it's words, I'm gonna use words, and I'm gonna roast that person. But that's as far as I'm gonna go. There's no reason for me to attack somebody if all they're doing is throwing words. Now, if somebody's actually going to cause my wife harm, now that's a whole other story. I'll mind you, even there, it's, I don't know, my wife can kind of defend herself for the most part against most things. And I wouldn't disrespect my wife by jumping in when it's not necessary. Now, hey, when it's necessary, when my wife needs me to defend, oh yeah, absolutely, I'll be there. And my kids, that's a whole other story. But Papa Bear is going to come out with "You touch my kids." But generally, I'm also the person, like, I don't know, I had a sister growing up, and like I say, part of that growing up on the other side, I had to let my sister go at times, and, like, be her own self. Oh, wow, there we go. That's our time. That is our time. But yeah, I don't know. I had to let my sister be her own self. So I through that, like, my sister dated my best friend, and then, like, this was mid-teenage years, so, like, sex was starting to become more of a normal thing, but kissing itself was still seen as of significance, if you understand. Like, and yeah, my sister ended up kissing a friend of ours while she was dating my best friend. And yeah, that was, I don't know, I learned to let women defend themselves when, like I say, like, don't get me wrong, there is a time and a place where if a woman can't defend herself, you as a man should step forward. That's part of being a man, and I think that is noble. But there is a line where you cross. That I can kind of agree with. People want to call that a toxic masculinity. Although, in general, I think that the concept of toxic masculinity is kind of dumb. I think it's wrong-headed. But I can understand in certain contexts. Anyways, like, we could go on, and I don't want to run out of time. I only have the half hour to film on the PlayStation here, so I kind of gotta say goodnight. Thanks for showing up for episode 5. Next week's episode will be more of a structured episode. I will actually have a full-on script. It won't just be points. I was kind of planning on doing that, but like I say, with this slap, man, I felt that I had to talk about this. And, I'm trying to build up views. I'm trying to build up subscribers. So I'm hoping that, this being a big pop culture thing that's got everybody triggered might get me some subscribers. Might show people that I have a kind of an honest view, and I think kind of a middle of the road, like a sensible view. So, anyways, thanks for joining. See you next week.
Hello there.
Bye.